This is moving into our dream house, part one. So stay tuned for part two. When we first started looking for our dream home, we realized very quickly that we would have to buy a fixer upper because of our budget. But we were okay with that because we were actually pretty excited to like really turn the house into our dream home. So that gave us ideas of, like full on demolition, knocking down walls, ripping out tile, all of that fun stuff, or, at least fun for me. So we were thinking the exact same thing when we got the keys to this house. However, the reality of moving into this house has been completely different in that there has been zero demo and just lots and lots of cleaning because this house hasn't been lived in for 2 years. So it is filthy. So I am vacuuming not only the floors, but also the walls and the ceilings. And unfortunately, we didn't have a lot of time in between moving out of our apartment and moving into this house. So that meant we weren't able to clean the house before we actually moved in. The very first night we stayed in the house, we arrived at the house at like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and we had just bought a fridge. So we brought the fridge in, and then our van was also full of all of our cleaning supplies because we had just used it to clean our apartment before handing over the apartment keys. So I brought in the vacuum for the very first time, and I actually vacuumed the bathroom just a little bit because I was afraid I would have to use the bathroom in the middle of the night and I would walk face first into a spider. Because even though I said this house has not been inhabited for the last 2 years, it actually has had a ton of spiders. A ton of spiders have been living here. So I did have to evict all of them. The house also had like an old house smell, which was not very nice. So we did open up all the windows and try to get the smell out. However, there was also some old furniture in the house, like this, I don't know, breakfast nook bench thing that Peter is disassembling. And I think anything that had fabric just would hold on to that old house smell. And so I didn't want to keep it in the house. And there was just no salvaging it. So while I was cleaning other places, Peter was removing this old thing and getting it out of the house. Because there was just no way that wasn't going to keep the house from smelling. And then upstairs, I think there was also, this old armchair was upstairs. So Peter had the pleasure of bringing that outside. And luckily we had this storage shed on the back of the house. So we just stored everything in there until we had time to take it to the dump. And then upstairs, there was also this room with carpet. There was no way I was just going to vacuum it and then be like, yeah, it's clean. So all of that carpet had to be rolled up and taken out, which is a good thing I did because when I was rolling it up, I could see the stains coming through the carpet. So definitely disgustingly dirty and just nasty. And actually, I really like these floors. So I'm hoping that in the future, we can just sand the floors down and maybe stain them. And then that can become the new floor for that room. But all of these things that had, carpet or some soft furniture, we wanted all of it to be out of the house because like I said, the house did not smell like it smelled like an old house, kind of musty, maybe moldy. I'm not sure. But so we got all of those out of the house and just stored them in this shed until we had time to take them to the dump. But of course, the vacuuming was not quite over, so there was still some more vacuuming once the that breakfast nook was taken out of the kitchen. I had more space to do some vacuuming, but as you can see, we are fully living in this house. All of our stuff is in here, and I'm having to clean around it, which has not been super fun, but whatever. It's doable, and we'll do what we have to do. So subscribe if you want to see more house updates. Pretty soon I'll be putting out my moving in part 2, which is the final piece to making this house fully livable. And of course, there's this lovely lime green color that will have to go. And I promise there is a demo video coming soon. So stay tuned for that.